Hey everybody, Doug8798 here. This is my review of both of the Power Rangers movies that were released in the mid to late 90s. The first one, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie, and of course the second film, Power Turbo, a Power Rangers film, which of course was a sequel to the Power Rangers Zeo television series and a prequel to the Power Rangers Turbo television series. Both of these films are not set in the same universe, but since they were packaged together and they were both films that were released in theaters, I'm reviewing both of them together. And yes, this review, of course, is also in honor of like I said in my thoughts on the 2017 Power Rangers film. I'm going to be reviewing several things from the Power Rangers franchise from now up until the release of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 2017 movie. And like I said in my thoughts on the 2017 Power Rangers film, the Power Rangers movies are, in my opinion, the best things associated with the Power Ranger franchise. Unlike other franchises, which are probably better as television series, I think the Power Rangers is much better as a film. Less less filler and more and costume and more special effects and costumes created for the film instead of using props and Japanese stock footage from the Sentai series. With that being said, let's start off with the very first movie, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I saw this film 3 times when it released back in 1995, and it was awesome, and it's still awesome today. The only thing I do not like about this film is I've come to learn that this film is not canon with the television series. When I saw it as a child, I thought this was a prequel to the final seasons of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and of course the Zeo Power Rangers television series. But as I would learn now, it's not in the same universe. It's an adaptation of the Power Ranger of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers television series. It uses the props. It uses the same concepts from the television series, but it has CGI. It has CGI and updated costumes created especially for the film. One of the main antagonists of the film, Mordant, is seen as one of Rita Repulsa's and Lord Zed's servant alongside Godar instead of Squat, I think Babu, the other characters from the television series who were seen with Goldar in the television series, but here it's a pig named Mordant, and of course Ivan Ooze is reckoned to existing in this series when there's no mentioning of him in the television series, and the opening scrolls similar to Star Wars, the opening text give a completely different origin to this Power Rangers universe, to this Power Rangers universe in the television series. So yeah, that's the only thing I hated. It wasn't canon, but plot wise, it was much better. In my opinion, this movie was much better than the series. I thought this movie had a much better plot. No filler, cool updated costumes and original CGI footage instead of Japanese stock footage from the Sentai series, and this film was quite profitable. And this film, much to my surprise, received mixed reviews from critics when it was released. And I still think it's one of the greatest superhero movies I've ever seen today. Today, it is still exciting to watch today. I'm finally happy I got to see this film again. I've been wanting to review this film for a long time, but the accounts that had it uploaded here to YouTube, the accounts that had it uploaded here to YouTube, got terminated. I watched it once in 2013. It aired on the Encore IFC channels, the movie channels, and finally, thanks to Putlocker, a website used for watching a bunch of movies old and new, a bunch of movies and television series old and new, I finally got to see this awesome movie again. I've watched it about 7 times. I've watched it about 7 times already. One of my all-time favorite films. I also love this film because this film was one of the main inspirations for one of my other all-time favorite films, Dragon Ball Evolution. Dragon Ball Evolution. Like I said, this film This film reunites this film uses the this film stars Jason David Frank as Tommy Oliver, who portrays the White Ranger. Um, Steve Cardenas as Rocky DeSantos, the new Red Ranger. Johnny Young Botched as Adam Park, the Black Ranger. David Yost returns as Billy Cranston, the Blue Ranger. And of course, Amy Jo Johnson returns as Kimberly Hart, the Pink Ranger. And finally, Karen Ashley returns as Campbell, the Yellow Ranger. Of course, um, Paul Schreier and Jason Navy um, return as Bulk and Skull, respectively. Paul Freeman portrays the main antagonist, Ivan Ooze. Ivan Ooze. Nicholas Bell portrays Zordon with Robert L. Manahan doing his voice. Um, the late Carrie Casey portrays the in-suit version of Goldar. Goldar with Kerrigan Mahan voice doing his voice. As you can see by the pictures here, this this series uses concepts from the Japanese Super Sentai series Ninja Sentai Kakuranger. The plot of this film is Lord Zed and Rita Repulsa unleash Ivan Ooze from his prison, who of course ruled Earth with an iron fist 6,000 years ago, but was imprisoned by Zordon. He is now free. He is now free and destroys destroys the command center and severely wounds Zordon. And of course Alpha Q, causing the Power Rangers to lose their power. They now have to travel to the world of Phaedos to obtain brand new to train under Dosea to obtain brand new powers. Here's the new suits they take on. They're both given powers of their animals. Meanwhile, Ivan Ooze in a subplot, Ivan Ooze uses Ooze to hypnotize the adults to create ectomorphicons to terrorize the city. It's up to the Power Rangers to stop him. Like I said, awesome film. I love the updated costumes. Love the intense, fast-paced, over-the-top martial arts actions. And another thing, this film was pretty much lighthearted and a lighthearted comedic, comedy-driven, lighthearted comedic superhero movie similar to the television series. The sequel, which I'm about to talk about, Pop Turbo, a Power Rangers movie, was that was much darker. Much darker. So yeah, the next film, of course. So yeah, that was the 1995 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers film. Oh yes, a much longer, in-depth version of both of these films will be in the will be in the description box below and are on my Super Vader 400 accounts. Now it's time for Turbo, a Power Rangers film. Whereas the first Power Rangers movie, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, was lighthearted, this one was much darker, and it also features less Power Ranger action than the first one. You see more scenes with the cast outside their Power Ranger suits than in the first one. This movie was created because I think they ran out of Sentai footage for the Zeo series, and this movie was created to bridge to as a follow up to the Zeo series to lead right into the Turbo series. Now, unlike the first film, which was got a mixed reception, this film has a predominantly negative reception. As a predominantly negative reception. A lot of fans didn't like it because um um what was his name? The little kid, Justin, um, the little kid, what was his name? Yeah, Blake Foster portraying Justin Stewart, the Blue Ranger. A lot of people didn't like the fact that a kid was the Power Rangers. was a Power Ranger. I thought it was, of course, was cool, and of course they didn't like how pretty much since he was a kid, when he becomes a Power Ranger, he transforms into the Blue Ranger. He when he transformed, his body grows into to the size of an adult, to the size of an adult. When he becomes the Blue Ranger, he replaces Rocky, who gets injured in a martial arts demonstration match earlier, who injures his back. He replaces Rocky as the, of course, the as the Blue Ranger. Um, I thought this film had a much better plot, had a much better plot than the first one. The plot of this one is actually kind of hard to follow. It features the villains, um, Lord Divatox, Elgar, and Rygarg seeking the wizard Larigo, pursuing the lizard Resgo to obtain his key to enter the dimensional triangle, something like that. The dimensional triangle, something like that, where they will marry, where Lord Divatox wants to marry a ancient demon named Malgar. Malgar. To do this, they kidnap the power. They kidnap um Vulcan Skull, but they reject him for being. But they're rejected for not being pure of heart, and Elgar scrambles their brains. They then kidnap Jason and Kimberly, who return in this film. And it's up to the Power Rangers to use their newly turbo Power Ranger powers created by Zordon to to rescue them. Also also like this film and the first one for its soundtrack. This Both of these films have two of the best soundtracks I've ever seen, and of course I love the new Turbo theme. Believe it or not, the Turbo Power Rangers film, I don't remember if I saw this film back in 97. The costumes, the plots and stuff are definitely familiar, but I don't remember if I saw this back in 97, because around 97 is when I started getting out of the Power Rangers phase. I was more into animation at that time. Now I'm more into live action. But at the time, this is when I started to get out of the Power Rangers phase. So I don't remember much from Turbo, but I'm currently watching the Turbo series right now, and and so far it's pretty good. So far it's pretty good. Yeah. Well, like I said, um, yeah, returning, and of course the cast members for Power Rangers Turbo, of course, are Johnny Young Bosch returning as Adam Green. This time he's the Green Turbo Ranger. Nakia Bunrise portrays Tanya Sloan, the Yellow Ranger. Blake Foster portrays Justin Stewart, the Blue Turbo Ranger. Jason David Frank returns as Tommy Oliver as the Red Turbo Ranger. Catherine Sutherland returns as Catherine Cat Hillard, the Pink Turbo Ranger. And of course, Austin St. John reprises his role as Jason Lee Scott, the original Red Ranger. Amy Jo Johnson reprises her role as Kimberly Hart, the original Pink Ranger. And of course, Stephen Cardenas reprises his role as Rocky DeSantos, the second Red Ranger in the previous Blue Ranger. Zordon, Alpha, Q, Vulcan Skull, and even Ernie, the owner of the Angel Grove Gym and Juice Bar, all those characters return with new bad guys, of course. Rygarg, and Lord Divatox are the new main antagonists, with Malgar being the final main antagonist, and his he will later be used for the final battle with him will later be reused for the Dark Spectre and the Power Rangers in Space season, which came after this. Well, like I said, this was my review of both of the Power Rangers movies. They will be long. There are longer, in-depth versions on my Super Vader 400 account. All right, I'm done.